You are not lazy. You are haunted. Haunted by the version of you that already made it. The one who already has the money, the body, the apartment, the respect, the calm. The one who looks finished. And while that version sits bright in your head, your real day gets smaller. The app is open. The notebook is open. The plan is open. And still nothing moves. Because the first real step is ugly. It is a draft. A message. A call. A rough post. A version that can be seen before it is good. And that is where your mind starts backing away. The dream feels cleaner than the first messy move, so your energy stays there. Feeds the picture instead of the day. Keeps you close to success without letting you enter it. So the longer you stay inside the image, the more the image starts to feel like a room. Polished room. A locked room. And what looks like ambition starts acting like a place where your life can wait without ever having to begin. A huge dream can feel like ambition, but it can also work like a hiding place. In your head, everything is already better. You know the right words. You know the outcome. You know how people react when it works. That version is easy to hold because nobody can touch it. Nobody can interrupt it. Nobody can tell you it is too much, too late, too unrealistic, too ordinary. Real life is different. Real life asks for a first draft, not a masterpiece. It asks for small moves that do not look impressive. It asks you to be a beginner in public. That is where the body starts to resist. The fantasy protects you from that kind of exposure. It keeps your desire busy living inside the picture, inside the future, inside the story. And the more you stay there, the more your actual life starts to feel insulting by comparison. That is how people end up staring at ordinary tasks like they are beneath them, when really those tasks are the only bridge out. A dream without small action turns into a beautiful delay. It lets you feel powerful without ever having to be real. It lets you feel close to success without paying the price of becoming the kind of person who can carry it. The picture stays perfect because nothing in it has to fail. A lot of people do not have a motivation problem. They have an imagination problem that got too big. They can picture the life so clearly that the body starts waiting for it instead of building toward it. They watch, save, plan, refine, rethink, compare, and call it preparation. Feels active. It even feels smart. But most of that energy never reaches the day itself. It stays in the future, where everything still looks possible and no one can judge the first ugly version. The dream keeps promising that the next day will be the one. The next mood. The next Monday. The next month. The next better version of you. So the present gets treated like a waiting room. You keep living near the life instead of inside it. And every time you avoid the small action, the dream gets bigger and the distance gets worse. The future self becomes a figure you admire more than a person you can become. That figure looks clean because he has never had to be embarrassed. He has never had to send the wrong thing, start badly, hear no, or find out that the first version was weak. Real movement changes the image. It makes the dream less shiny and more real. That is exactly why the body hesitates. It knows the fantasy only stays powerful as long as it remains untouched. The system loves this kind of delay. It sells you a giant picture of success and then gives you endless ways to stay inside it. The right body, the right career, the right routine, the right relationship, the right confidence. So your desire gets pulled upward into an image instead of downward into a move. You keep chasing the polished life, while your real life sits still in the chair. Your mind keeps feeding the image. Your body keeps missing the chance to become it. And after a while, that distance starts to feel normal. You become the person who talks about the life more than the person who enters it. The person who researches, saves, rewrites, and waits for the perfect mood. The person who keeps the dream alive by never letting it meet a normal day. What makes this so hard to see is that the dream does give you energy. You can feel inspired, even emotional, even full of purpose. But if that energy never turns into one call, one file, one page, one step, one awkward attempt, it goes nowhere useful. It just keeps the fantasy alive. That is how the dream becomes a very elegant way of not changing. It feeds on attention while the body stays underused. So the real question is not why you dream big. The real question is what the dream is doing for you while nothing changes. Is it giving your desire a stage so it never has to risk a body? Is it making the small step feel too ordinary, too embarrassing, too small to matter? Is it letting you feel close to the life without having to enter the part where it can fail, stretch you, or expose you? That is the hidden pain here. Not lack of potential, not lack of talent. It is what happens when your potential gets turned into a waiting room. You keep carrying a future self who already did the hard part, and that makes it easier to postpone the real one. But the future self is not the one who has to live this day. You are. And the first real shift starts when you stop asking how to become the giant version and start asking what small move would embarrass the fantasy by making it real. What can be sent today? What can be made badly? What can be done in 10 minutes without applause? Because the dream does not need more worship. It needs a body. The moment you begin feeding it with actual motion, the spell breaks. The future stops being a hiding place and starts becoming a place you can actually walk toward.